This video is made for an adult audience. Hey Brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob, and today it's time to put an interior into the supermarket in my Lego city and add some lights too. On some of my latest videos, people have been asking whether or not I would add light to my Lego city. And today I'm actually experimenting with that because I think I found a way to do it. But without further ado, let's get into building. There were different suggestions for my supermarket when people watched my first video regarding this. One of them was, if I don't want to make an interior, I could use window displays with different kinds of wares, for instance fish and other foodstuffs in each window, and that would look cool and you would save on the interior, so to speak. However, I do have an idea of different things I want to do in the interior, so I think I'll do that. But I like the idea, and I'm considering whether I can do both, at least for some of the windows, but we'll see. Another suggestion was to create a loading bay for the goods that are to be sold in the B-Mart, and I think that's a really good idea that I want to look into. There was also a suggestion that I could make this entrance a little more visible in some way, shape or form. I'm not 100% sure how I would do that, but if I can think of something, I will definitely do it, because I do agree this entrance does seem to disappear just a tiny bit. But I'll be working on this loading bay initially. The suggestion I got was to get inspired by the official new Lego Supermarket set, which is out just now. And that one has a loading bay as well, and there's these sort of dangly bits. I think this is supposed to be those rubber things. Whatever they are, I do like the look, and I like that yellow and black safety look too. So I think that was a great idea, and I've tried to copy it, and there is going to be some kind of interaction between, you know, outside and in here, which is of course going to be the storage or the warehouse for the supermarket. So great suggestion, and I really like this little detail, so thanks a lot for that. I've added this, and the walls continue up here. I think this is pretty obvious what it is, especially if I, in some way, shape or form, manage to build a forklift. Now, vehicles aren't my strong suit, but at some point I've got to do something about that. And adding some kind of forklift here would definitely bring home the message, I think. For now, I will continue with some of the interior detailing. The first thing I want to do is build some of those refrigerators that contain milk and such. And I do have some ideas on using these windows here, because I think they look sufficiently like those see-through doors that are usually there. Now, I did have an idea of actually making them functional doors, but I think it's mostly the look I'm going for, so the functionality isn't that important. But yeah, I'm gonna try to build these cold fridges. And here's 3 coolers with dairy products. In Denmark we've got a color coding that goes from darker blue being the fatter milk, and the gray ones being the lighter ones, and lighter blues being sort of in between. Cream is red here in Denmark, and everything else is different dairy products like acidophilus milk or other, you know, creme fraiche or something like that. And up here on top we of course got some pieces of brown cheese in honor of our Norwegian brethren. I'm gonna add different details up here, some grills to simulate cooling vents and such, but other than that, this is gonna go inside the shop at the back wall that way. just added these up here and finished off the sides and tiled up here. Now this is going to be part of the back wall, so that's why this is not tiled. Other than that, I think this is as good as done. I've placed the fridges inside here. You can just see it through the window. Of course, we need a cooling counter for your frozen meats and vegetables. So I'll be building one of those next. That's a cooling counter in the same color scheme as the rest of the build. Yeah, I like this. Cold meat, or frozen meat if you will. Frozen, I don't know, fish, and frozen greenery vegetables if you will. This goes into the shop as well, and then I've got to look at some of those shelves that just carries all kinds of canned food and that good stuff. A shelf of wares. I've cheated a bit. I haven't filled it in on the back as this is going in the middle of the shop, pointing this way, so I thought that would be superfluous to do because no one is ever gonna see that. So that's going inside, and then I think I need a cash register and one of those what do you call those? The thing at the cash register that has sort of a conveyor belt thing going. Yeah, one of those. Cash register and conveyor belt. This is that beep thing that tells the clerk whether or not the item has been registered. And of course, a cash register to punch in stuff once the beep doesn't work. So that's gonna go in the shop. And yeah, I think that would be just about it for the interior. Of course, I've got to add some walls inside, and I've got to add some minifigs and such, but other than that, I think I'm mostly done interior-wise. I am wondering how I can get you folks to actually see anything when I start putting in the walls and such in the interior. I was briefly considering just toppling all this, just knocking it over, taking it off, but there's going to be a lot of small pieces coming off everywhere, and I don't like that too much, I've got to admit. But maybe that's the solution. Success! I managed to get the front off and leave everything intact actually. That was quite successful. Now I'm gonna build this wall that's going to go all around the interior of the shop, and also I'll be thinking about adding some tiling to the floor just to, you know, get that sense of finish. There is going to be some kind of scaffolding going on here. Maybe I'm going to take out some of these tiles to put in some pillars of some sort. But other than that, this is the interior as I think it should look. Of course, ideas and suggestions are welcome, but please take into consideration that it's not going to be visible from the outside very much. So I have taken some, you know, shortcuts, not tiling everything behind this, for instance, because that's not going to be visible anyway. I am considering adding some shelves here behind the cash register and such, because that would just add a little more detail to this interior without going overboard. That's more shelves added. I think this added the last bit of detail that really made this come together in a wonderful way, especially because this is not going to be very visible from the outside, also because of the angle that it's going to be placed in my city. So adding too much inside would just be overdoing it. But I like the way this looks, and I think it's about time I add in the front again. I've turned the whole build around so I can start adding in the scaffolding. I'm thinking I'll integrate this edge up here in the scaffolding, so this wall here will also be part of the load-bearing construction. I think that'll work pretty good because I've got this edge here. So that's going to be interesting to do that. I've also actually found, found some lights, which I think I will try to integrate into this scaffolding so it can actually light up this supermarket here. I think that would look great. And this is just a cheap LED strip from, you know, your home improvement store. So I think that could work well here. We'll see how that works. Well, the lights are definitely working. There's this remote control included, and I have no idea whether or not this will work and what it's white light, blue light, and green light, red light. So there's actually different options, which I like. There's also yellow light, warmish, orange, different degrees of orange, purple, smooth, ooh, fade, wow, strobe, okay, flash, do. Okie dokes, and all right, so off. Wow, that's cool. And it was very cheap too. Now, of course, it's going to be interesting to see how it looks from the other side when it's turned around. And there's plenty on the roll, so I could actually probably light up the small shops of the other race section if I wanted to. But for now, this is what I'm gonna stick with. We have to turn this around to see how it looks on the other side. Of course, it can be pretty difficult to see how the light looks, as it's very light in this room because it's daytime and I've got all the studio lights going too, but I'll try to do something. Ooh, well, there is definitely an effect. This flashing light really makes it visible. If I turn off some light, maybe we can get a better sort of impression of how it would look. One more light, there we go. Definitely an effect. Let's see if we just turn on the white. Yeah, that's sufficiently supermarket-y, isn't it? Haha, that's great. A more yellow light. Looks more cozy, definitely. Even more cozy. And what if it's blue? Oh, that looks like sort of a, if it's open in the nighttime. But this white light definitely adds that, you know, supermarket 24-hour open store vibe. I love it. I want to add some buildings on top of this just to see how everything looks. This is as dark as I can make it right now, and of course putting these here makes it darker down here. So let's see how that looks. Oh, let's see how there we go. I like it. I really like it. Yeah, I can see why lighting up these things has become such a, you know, some people are very drawn to doing this, and I can see why now, because this really adds a lot of interest to a city. One thing I don't know, maybe I should put more bricks behind these, because the small cracks between the bricks are lit up as well, and that might look a bit weird, except if you see it on an angle it's not very visible, so maybe that's not a big problem. But I like it. I really like it. That's all I have time for today. I'll leave you folks with some glamour shots, and I'll see you for a wrap-up. interior of my supermarket is now finished, and I've also managed to light it up. I think that's really neat, and I like the look. I like how you can see everything when you add lights like this. And it's great to work with these LED strips, and it's not that expensive actually, which I like very, very much. If you have any kind of ideas for how to light up your Lego city, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to hear it. But that is all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like and subscribe. I hope I'll see you folks next time.